Recording in progress.
Ready? Oh God, every time I say it now, I stress out about how I sound. Good evening, Jennifer. Oh, you were fast to the keyboard today. Hey, hi, Peggy. I don't know why I'm going in that weird tone. From Southwest Florida. Ooh, I usually I would say I wish I was there, but I am very thoroughly enjoying the fall weather in Pennsylvania right now. It's a little early, but I'm here for it. I'm even for those of you, um, Oregon Cherry. Um, I've got some spoopy earrings on. The time has come. Sandy, I'm feeling so much better. Thank you for, oh, I set my Siri up when I said Sandy. I'm feeling so much better. Thank you for saying that and asking. I was feeling rough last week, but I really came to it to the end, but I am feeling good today. It's beautiful weather here. I no longer feel ill. I don't think I have any residual from, I don't think I ever been blushing. I don't know that I ever I feel no residual from COVID anymore. I'm feeling great. Thank you for asking. Jennifer, if you wish you had fall weather, I get it. I am a fall girly through and through. I actually have no Halloween cups right now, which is rare. But I do have a witch's brew Alani. So there you have it. Right at the prime early hour of 7 o'clock at night. Colorado Fall. Oh, I love Colorado Fall. I trained for a job out in Colorado Fall. It was wonderful. It was 100 degrees today. Holy moly. And hi, hello from South Central Nebraska. Hello, Amanda in Charlotte, North Carolina. Stephanie, this is your first live with me. Ah! Employee of the month is here. She almost left me. This is Ellie. If this is your first time here, first and foremost, let me say welcome. My name is Laura DeVeiga. I am the Director of Agency Development at WorldVia Travel Network, and I am lucky enough to host this wonderful we'll try that again. Personal and professional development course every Thursday night for free for all of y'all, called Elevate. And this is Ellie. She is our mascot. She was always named Ellie, even after Elevate. She is not looking at me right now. I don't know why she's mad at me. Ellie, Ellie girl. Nope. Hi. She can't see screen, so she just thinks I'm yelling at her. But I call her Employee of the Month because she shows up every day but does no work. So if that's your first time here, meet Ellie. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate that. Charita, hello from Virginia. Hey, Anthony, you're back. Hello, Wendy from Idaho. Robin in New Hampshire. Your dog is Ellie too. Hi from Phoenix, Carrie. Ellie, they say hello. And hi from Idaho, Katrina. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so glad and happy to have you all here. This week we are getting into cruising. So the last couple of weeks we've been doing specific topics, if you haven't caught on to that, and like how to get your niche in certain spaces. Jamie from Montana. Hello, hello. I'm gonna pull my desk down a little bit. I have one of those moving desks and they're lovely for these scenarios. So if you have, well, let me backtrack because we're early today. I jumped on a little early. So I created this course well over a year ago now, which is crazy to think about. Because I knew from my past travel lives, I was an advisor like many of you for many years, ran my own agency for a little while, then went on to the business development, actually the national account space with a large wholesaler for many years. Loved that position, went on to run that business development team for a short period of time, then ended up here, love it here. Hi, Christy from Annapolis. Oh, and bonjour, Sal, lisez le bon temps roulé. If you don't know what that means, folks, that means let the good times roll. It's one of my favorite phrases. Hi, Angel. So I worked in those spaces for a long time, and something that was really evident to me when I was out in spaces with meeting new advisors and getting to know new people was the fact that there is just not a space for personal and professional development in the travel world. So when I started with WorldVia, we were looking for new content, and I came to Joshua, our CRO, our Chief Revenue Officer, and I said, "What about this?" And he said, "Yeah." And here I am ever since. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity to be able to teach all of you every Thursday night. I do have some exciting news I'm going to tell you now and tell you at the end. But one, I just want to appreciate for those of you just on, I got some spooky earrings because if this is your first fall season with me, I am a Halloween fanatic. I'm a lunatic. I've got the 12-foot skeletons. I've got all the nonsense. This is who I am. It's in my soul. I already have Halloween nails. I've got off the deep end. So I just need you to know and acknowledge it, because someone's going to catch it and they're going to go, is that spiders? Yes, yes, it is. It is actually Mickey spider webs. So now that that's on the table. Some exciting Elevate news before we get into the topic of the week. We are officially next week going live on YouTube instead of in the Zoom format. I know. I'm just as nervous as all of you. Now, I'm thinking this 365 days a year. I agree with you. We are officially going live in the YouTube format to make this a bit more accessible for all of y'all. So that way, if you want to watch this on your TV, on your smart TV, you can sit on your couch and do so. You do not have to sign into Zoom by any means. As much as I love the Zoom format and I get to know a little bit about you guys because you have to register for it, so I could see, who's coming in and who's coming out. I want to make it as accessible as possible and make sure that everyone can see it. I had a moment, I don't know if who was on here that mentioned last week, do I have to gatekeep my content because it's going on YouTube? And I had a moment, I was like, oh, do I? But then I realized I post every episode to YouTube anyways. So there you have it. So I don't know what I thought I was gatekeeping. I'm already doing it. So starting next week, we are going to be going live on YouTube. It'll be much easier for you to get on. You will not have to register. You just have to show up and interact in the chat, as you know that I love so much. If it is your first time here, I prefer you chatting along in the chat, please. It makes this so much more enjoyable for me and all of y'all. So next week that will start. Also, if it's your first time here, we do have a Facebook group. So know the YouTube link will go into the Facebook group. So if you need to where to find it, if you don't want to worry about a link, if you go to WorldVia Travel Network's YouTube page next week, you're just going to see me live there. That's where it's going live. We're not overcomplicating this. Hi, Danielle in Sarasota, Florida. So don't overthink it, but we will post recordings of the episodes in the Facebook group. It's also where chats go on. Sometimes I'm recommending books in there. Sometimes I'm just putting nonsense in there. It's a great space. Also, some of the very cool, exciting things that are coming down the road with Elevate, which Anthony sent you on. There may be a gratitude space coming. Maybe I'm working on it. I know I said I would have it by now. I don't. Be patient. There will be an accountability motivational group coming very soon. And many of you know I'm working on doing a podcast version of this, so that for those of you that don't have the opportunity to watch it on Facebook or anything in that nature, you can just consume it in your car rides or wherever you prefer to listen. So, but it'll be a slightly different format of the content. But Kristen, how are you? Kristen is, I only get to see Kristen twice a year in Fort Lauderdale, so I'm very excited to see her on. But I am so excited that everyone is on, and I'm excited about the change, and you'll find out all the updates and more changes and things in the future in the Facebook group. So I'm going to post the link. Did I post it? Yep, the link is in here. Also, the fun thing with the new format that I'm going to be posting, I'm going to be able to put links on screen too. It's all very exciting. So this week, if you haven't caught on the last couple weeks, so we did luxury travel, right? Last week we talked group travel, how you get into that space. This week we're even making it a little more basic, but also it's not something that everybody does. We're going to be talking about cruises. Are you currently booking cruises? Are you interested in booking cruises? Some of you might already be doing this in and out, and this is not that exciting for you. I get that. Maybe you can help me with the conversation, or I might just teach you something you don't even realize. So stick around. But we're going to get into cruises and how that can help you, how that can help your market, because let's be honest, cruising is an unstoppable market right now. We thought it was just going to be, actually, that's a lie. I don't know that I ever thought it was just going to be the resurgence after COVID, but I will tell you, when living through that and seeing kind of what happened there. And everybody was like, oh, I don't, couldn't cruise for years, right? That's your niche, Danielle. Perfect. And so we're going to talk a lot bit about it. We're not just going to talk, you may already know some things. I might talk about some cruise lines you don't know anything about. Please add to the conversation. It makes it a heck of a lot more interesting for everybody in here, right? When we all participate. So I do appreciate that. We're going to talk about cruising because I just feel like you probably heard, if you have been to many of my courses in past weeks, right? Or for the last year, a lot of times I'm saying, if you're not getting into cruising, you're missing a cash flow opportunity, right? Because cruising has such a high return rate, high repeat rate. And also, well, I was starting to talk about was during COVID, nobody could cruise. Then everybody wanted to cruise, and the rates on some of the cruises, you just couldn't beat them, and the inclusions, you just couldn't beat them. And now these cruise ships are just leveling up and one-upping each other. It's just a market that is an easy sell, and so I want to make sure everyone knows everything they can about it. Booked my first cruise last year, didn't go well. Oh no, booking second cruise. Listen, fingers crossed. I'm going to tell you guys a fun little fact. I hate cruising. Now, I hate it in the sense that I think they are beautiful ships. I think the food is excellent, excellence. I start scratching at the walls around day 5. I don't know what it is. I've come to the decision after this last cruise. I was just on one about 3 weeks ago. I think it's because I crave natural light. So at the point, I'm like, I need to be outside. And even when I'm outside, it's not enough outside. And a lot of times I'm on this for work. So I'm doing a lot of things indoors. So I think it's missing natural light. I'm going to work on it. I'm not writing cruising out. Let's be clear. I'm not saying I don't want to cruise. I enjoy cruising, and the idea of cruising, I hate. But I've had some wonderful experiences on cruises. I've been very fortunate. I've been on some beautiful cruises, and we're going to talk all about a bunch of different ones. So let me just get my presentation up here real quick. Know that my presentations are sometimes hard to see. I get it. I will post, I think we got into a great habit last week. I'm just going to post my presentation in the Facebook group at the end of the event. So you can just download it if you need it. I didn't put too much context into this one. This one I kept pretty bare bones. I'm going to do more talking than not, but let's see what we got here. You're going on a 16-night Panama Canal cruise in October. That feels like a long time for me, but also I think that it's going to be incredible just for what that's worth. Kristen, I was going to ask how the Norwegian cruise went. I want to say the ship was beautiful. Norwegian is an excellent cruise line. I lost my mind about 5 days in, as I just said. And again, this was a little more tolerable. I had my daughter with me, so it was a different experience. But at the same, I don't know what it is. There's a point where I'm like, I want my bed, I want my dog, but I can prance around Europe forever. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Everyone, listen, different strokes for different folks. That doesn't mean it's not a profit driver for you and your business, though. So that's why we're talking about it. I need a Paul Gauguin cruise. I believe that, Robin. So here's what I'll say. I did cruise Regent. I use them as an example often, and I will say on Regent, I was like, oh, well, I could get used to this, right? I was like, I can get used to Versace plates and lovely experiences. So I do think experience. I'm also a big believer in who you're with is a big proponent of the cruise, right? And I have yet still to this day to have just a cruise with my family. So I do think I've had it with my girls, but not my husband. So I do think in different manners, I would feel very differently about it. All right, I'm going to pop this up while I answer some of these other questions because I just want to get through them, but I also want you guys to get an idea of the presentation for a second here. Okay. Beautiful. All right, let me get my chat back up because I lost it when I did that. Oh, come on now. Come back to me. It's all coming back. There we go. Okay. So I can't see myself though. I do need to see myself. All right, let's go back up here. So, ooh, I missed a bunch of chats. I'm so sorry. Clea just put out their 2025 state of the cruise industry, and I was shocked by some of the stats they told us, how much growth, so much growth. So that's another piece of this. So the money, because of what was brought in, that's why if you're not into cruise, man, start thinking about it. And a great example of this is I had an individual who who was humoring coming into WorldVia, and she was an established advisor in the industry 35 plus years, but she saw what happened during COVID and then what happened when they came out, and she had no cruise experience after 35 years. And she goes, I need to get into it. I know I do, and I need to educate myself because they are putting so much money into the cruise industry in all levels of the cruise industry. This is luxury, this is adventure, this is everything. So it's not just what we used to think of cruising. It's very different. And these ships are immaculate anymore, and they're doing different things. It's very, very cool. Did I like the Aqua? I'm taking my mother for her 80th birthday in January. I did like the Aqua. There were things that were different that were definitely an adjustment. What I will say, the Danielle, the entertainment on the Aqua was next level. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous entertainment. Food was delicious. I will tell you, be smarter than me. I didn't book my reservations early enough, and so I was fighting for reservations once I was on board. So I would recommend that. The only thing that's different about the Aqua, I didn't mean this to make me an Aqua commercial, but I think this could be helpful for everyone because it's a brand new ship and people are excited about it, is there's no central space. So if you've ever been on a cruise before, as many of you have, some of it's your niche, or maybe it's your niche and you haven't been, but there's usually a central space, or like Royal Caribbean has their promenade, right? Like that's out there, like Central Park, they call it. MSC calls it the promenade. There's like a centralized location where sometimes they have entertainment, or sometimes it's like an outdoor area that didn't exist on the Aqua. And that was a little jarring to get used to at first, because I didn't like, meeting spaces were a little complicated. So like, oh, we'll meet here or go there. But once you got into the swing of it, it was all fine. I was just, when you're used to something for so long, you're like, oh, where do we do this? How do I go about that? But it's a beautiful ship. The rooms are really nice. Service is always great with Norwegian. It was a great experience, all in all. And the ports were excellent too. I'm a big fan. That's why I like about cruises, going to the different ports. But Christy, I tried to, man, I'm not giving up hope to find one I like. I get it. And listen, I struggled. Uh, I apologize. Ellie is getting loud because she wants to see what my husband's doing. She may bark a little, um, it took years. I've been on most of the large ocean liners. I will say I do love Celebrity. I've always loved Celebrity cruises. If I had to pick one of the large, or like the big ship boats, or like I got hurt for saying boat there. The large ship liners, I would definitely. I love Celebrity. I have not been on Virgin yet, so I can't speak to that experience. But hopefully very soon. I'm going to I'm going in my first cruise with my husband to Nassau in the Bahamas. It's a great starter for a cruise. I will tell you, there's a beautiful, wonderful, I should say beautiful. It's a fun little pirate brewery that's in Nassau. It's one of my favorite places in the Caribbean. I'm going to my first one after the Forum. That's a great choice. I'm going on Utopia the Seas in 3 weeks. Charita, Royal Caribbean is top notch. They're excellent. I need Paga again. I know. Jamie, which form you go? Oh, you guys are talking amongst each other. Great. You took a 21-day expedition to Antarctica and the Falklands. Oh, great. Excellent choice. Okay. I'm getting too caught up in the comments and I'm not teaching. I'm going to come back to this in a second. I know where I stopped. I'm going to come back because we're too far in. So why cruising, right? So we kind of talked about this. They are just investing so much money in it. And when you want to be boosting your revenue, I talk about profit drivers often, right? I talk about what you should be doing to build your business in a way that you're not having to think too much about it. Because the goal is to be busier, more active, more involved, right? The more you put it in the beginning, the better it is at the end. So when you're taking and paying attention to these things, it helps a whole ton. I'm just reading as I'm going through. I would absolutely go on a Backstreet Boys cruise. I would love every single minute of it. Oh, good. I'm glad they had I'm reading through your share. I'm glad they had the best vacation ever. Listen, it's for some people, it's just not for everybody. I'm gonna click a little bit. I'm gonna click through a little bit and land. Okay. Can you make the window larger? I wish, if you're talking about the window for the presentation. It's tough. I'm do the split screen on purpose because I'm kind of a dramatic talker and I want you guys to be able to see. I will share the presentation in the Facebook group. You'll be able to find it. First one is Celebrity. You're gonna love it. Celebrity Edge is amazing. All the Celebrity ships are wonderful. I love them all very, very much. I can't get my slide to go. I promise I'm trying to start this presentation, everybody. Come on. Come on. I might just have to wing it. Oh, there we go. Why cruises? Why now? So this is the truly fastest growing segment in leisure travel currently. I can tell you at WorldVia Travel Network, it is our largest growing sector. It is our percentages year over year are insane. We are just there. We're hitting every goal and surpassing them. People want to be cruising right now because the options are endless. Another reason why cruises, why now is you can book for 2025, obviously, because we're in 2026, and actually some books are open to 2027. So if you have planners, planners, which I find a lot of times, and listen, especially when you're in an area, I don't know what your demographic is like or what your clientele is like. I know when I was an advisor, I am in an income driven area in the sense that we are a lower income area. So some people are going on one trip a year, maybe one trip every other year. So they're planning well in advance. They want to have the time to put the money down, make payments, make this a gradual thing because they are excited, right? Cruising gives you that opportunity. It's a low deposit to put down. You have a lot of time to pay it off. They're great about rebooking if a sale comes out that's a better price, right? As long as there's availability. So it just keeps your options for these kind of clients really endless and open for them. So when you have somebody like, I want to go in 2027, and I know I'm stretching out all of them I have out to 2027 right now, and at least I don't think they all do, but I can do a good amount of you. It gives them that flexibility to do so. It gives them the confidence that, like, because I can't tell you how much it would break my heart when I would be booking all inclusives. People are coming in right now. They're like, I want to book for August of next year. And sometimes you can't read the screen, 0 letters. Can nobody read the screen? Can you let me know? Okay. I'll just, like I said, I'll pop the presentation I'm reading off the presentation and I'll pop it in the Facebook group, Robin. So it would break my heart. Thank you all. Okay, I'm glad everyone. I would break my heart when people would come in and they would be like, I want to book for next August. And like pricing wouldn't be loaded yet sometimes with cruise line or with all inclusives. Or like for Europe, sometimes they load it like a lot closer to travel. And they'd be like, what do you mean? It would kill me. It would be November. They're trying to go in April in Europe. And sometimes it wouldn't be loaded. So like those moments were really difficult. And because some people just want to plan, they want to have the time to extend out. And not all of you have the capability to house that money. And truly, actually, that's a legal issue to be housing money like that, depending how you're doing it. So it shouldn't be an option for you to do that. So it's so nice that cruising, you can put that deposit. Yes, a lot of hotels are only 325 days. Some are much, much less than that too, because it's a contracting issue. So I can tell you a little bit behind the scenes on that if this interests anyone at all. It's because hotels, especially if you're booking through a wholesaler, hotels go through a contracting season with wholesalers, and that's how you get the better rates. But they do those in spurts, and there's usually teams behind them. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get those contracted rates contracted and then loaded into the system, because more often than not, they're loaded in manually. My experience with rebooking for a lower price is that some cruise lines make you release the space first. Oof. That is possible, Robin. And it's an unfortunate evil of the industry. Some cruise lines, and I don't want to speak, I'm speaking from past experience. We used to, you would have to call in and make a phone call, and they would do the rebook on there. But I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on which ones are better about it than others. But a safe sometimes way to do that is kind of go in and see you're holding the space. A little funnish fact about cruising, not all cruising, but I can tell you the large ocean liners. More often than not, their pricing is static adjacent. It's not actually static, things can affect it, but they have a bulk of rooms at a rate, and odds are it's not going to change from minute to minute. Not never, but it shouldn't change. So as long as the availability is there, nobody grabs it when you're there, you're in a good spot. But it is much more confidence building when you know that they can do it there, and you don't have to cancel and rebook. Disney Princess, yeah, that depends on that's a great point. Depends on the rate of the promotion. I know I used to do it with Royal. I don't know if Royal still allows it. You can reprice as long as it's before final payment. Yeah, that's what I thought. I did it pretty heavily with Royal. I was a big Royal Norwegian, a little bit of Carnival. I'll be honest, at the time, the pricing on Carnival, especially when I was starting, was so minimal. The commission was so low and I was in again, an economy battling market where I couldn't really put in a service fee for Carnival. So I didn't always book it unless it was really asked for. Celebrity, I know will allow you to do it. But anyways, so next thing is cruises are more diverse and customizable than ever as well. And why that is because we're no longer in a space where it's just and this isn't a dig on Cunard, but Cunard is still like the fancy dress up, go like the Titanic style ship, right? The Queen Mary is what they have. That's not the only way anymore. Now there's your short party cruises, right? You can go out of Miami for 3 nights and have a blasty, which is meant for some people. There's the family cruises of the Disneys, the Royals, that they're anymore, the things they have on these ships. There's water roller coasters. There's full basketball courts for kids, ropes courses, swings that go off the sides. What was I just on that had something crazy? Bumper cars, just endless amounts of activities on these cruise ships for families, right? Which is great for that space because I know aqua coaster, absolutely. I know there's a roller coaster on a Norwegian ship. No, is it Norwegian or Carnival? Carnival has a roller coaster on top. Um, I know speaking from my own experience with my children, they different strokes for different folks, right? Even with kids. My younger, oh, sorry, my younger will like coordinate with other kids, make friends, do the whole thing. It makes my dog is very upset. I hope my husband comes to get her. Um, you know, like if they'll participate in the kids club to do a thing, my older daughter wants nothing to do with it. Right. But there was a lot of things that she did want something to do with on the cruise ship we were on. She loved the game room. She loved different spaces that she can go hang in. And cruises offer different options for that. Sometimes at all inclusive, there's not a whole lot of space to do something like that. I hope he can, I'm gonna send out an SOS to my husband. And hopefully he gets it. I apologize to do this, but come get Ellie. Sorry. Really nice. So there's different options for them, which that's not always available in all inclusive. If you go to Europe, there's not a kids club that one can go to or a movie playing or anything like that. So sorry guys. Just leave the door, please. Thank you. So there's different options for them, which makes it very accessible for larger families, especially your multi-generation, right? Norwegian's great for multi-gen. Yes, one-stop shop for all. Thank you. I was very distracted with Ellie. I couldn't get the right words out. Norwegian's a great option for multi-gen in the sense that like there's the haven for grandma and grandpa, right? Then there's the family that can stay in a balcony but access to all the things. But then there's also like another income range and like your inside cabins, things like that. They're great about that. But also for activities, right? Because again, grandpa can stay in the haven, the family can do all the fun stuff. There's great places to hide in a lot of the ships, to speak of that manner. Sal, Disney has actually gotten quite expensive. Yeah, I've only ever booked with them once, but was surprised. They already listen. I'm gonna say something off the cuff here, and I am a Disney lover. Disney lover. Disney, as a whole, is a price point of a luxury vacation now. And I think that's important to remember. I can tell you for myself, I'm looking at a Disney trip for next year. Now we're talking separate, not even talking cruise line. Disney trip for next year, a week, all in, meals, tickets, the whole thing, 4 people. I'm at about $8,000 easily. $8,000 is not in everybody's budget, and that's in a value resort. I'm not even looking at the higher resort yet. I probably will, but I was humoring just to see where it was at. But like that, $8,000 is not everybody's budget. It's not astronomical compared to other things, but if you have somebody in a low income, they want to go on a Disney cruise, it's not on their spectrum. Because like Kristen's mentioning here, you could pay up to $1,000 per night. Well, Chrissy, it's cheap for Disney in the sense of that it's a value resort. It's the basic tickets. It's the bare minimum, right? It's not your skip the line passes. It's not all the other things when you get there. So and it's not airline tickets. So all in all, I'm probably going to go in on that trip easily around $13,000 when all is said and done, is what I'm getting with that. I also love, I just want to be clear, I love the value resorts in Disney. I think they're exactly what they should be and they're perfect. And again, I'm not saying, you're saying $8,000 cheap for Disney and for you. Not every client has that ability, right? And that's why I'm saying it's cheap for Disney. Disney is not at a price point for people saving dollars anymore. That's just a reality, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. They know what it is. That's why some people Disney, they don't go every year. There's nothing wrong with that. There's other people that go consistently. Well, and just to touch on, I'm sorry, I wanted to catch up back on what Kristen said. It could be $1,000 a night on Disney cruise. 7 nights, you're looking at easily $7,000, and you're working in tickets, you're working on any alcoholic drinks that you're having on board, any excursions. Again, you're getting into over $10,000, and that's not necessarily expensive for everyone, but it can be very expensive for someone. Robin, I hate that they're all doing the cruise island. I have never cruised, but I would much rather visit a real island to experience the culture and nature. Listen, I hear you, and I feel the same way, Robin. But at the same time, I can tell you, the most asked for cruises are the ones that stop at their private islands. People love that experience. Sally, yep, I booked mostly luxury cruises and Disney was pretty close. I agree with you. I can go on a Regent cruise, me and my husband, for $10,000. Granted, it's only two, or I can go on a Disney cruise with my two kids, which again, two kids are in there. I get it. Different experience though, for sure. We may be going to Disney with our 5-year-old autistic son in September. I can tell you, Jennifer, this is again, I'm derailing a bit here. They're excellent with that. I have a very good friend who has a son that is autistic, and we have an absolutely incredible experience every time we've traveled with him there, just for what that's worth. I love Pop Century. I love that it's on the Skyliner. Do you know? I'm going to tell a little fun fact. We are derailing so hard right now. My 40th birthday is in January. I want to go to Disney World like a child for my 40th birthday. And the week of my birthday, the Skyliner is closed. I wanted to stay at the Caribbean beach and just skyline around, and I can't. I'm grateful to be a forward resident. I get that. Yep. That's why we've done Disney. I get it, Christy. I've stayed at some moderates and deluxe. Yep. Our go-to is Pop Century for the Skyliner. I get it. I might actually my one of my favorite properties to actually stay at is the Port Orleans Riverside, especially if you're not a Disney file. Because we are derailed. This is not cruise conversation where I'm going to bring it back, guys. I hope I'm not losing watchers over this. Because it's actually the least Disneyfied resort. So I feel like I'm relaxing. I'm going back and I still get to full experience it. Please connect with an autistic travel advisor specialist. They'll put it out. Oh, that's a great thing. Love Disney movies. Also great. Yeah, I love Port Orleans Riverside. I think it's a beautiful property. I like that you can boat everywhere. All right, back to cruises. So anyways, what I was getting at is Disney Cruise Line is a high ticket item. You probably will be able to get a more bells and whistles room on a Royal Caribbean ship than you can a Disney Cruise Line ship, and still have a lovely experience for a family. And that's what this all was to say. But again, we got really drilled in the family piece of this, but we are no longer in the market of it's just the getting on, getting fancy and going. There are family cruises like Disney and Royal Caribbean. There is all adults only cruises now with Virgin Voyages, right? There is luxury, Regent, Oceania, Explora. Gorgeous options, right? There's also just like the elevated experience of Celebrity, Princess. There is adventure and expedition cruising, like Hurtigruten, Paul Gauguin, like, well, they're more, luxury expedition. There are some incredible options out there for cruises. So there is a cruise for every person if you are looking for someone, which is a really nice piece of that. So, and they're very customizable. Like you can have a basic cruise, but doing all the bells and whistles tours and have the next level experience. So, okay. Client mindship. Hassle-free travel. That's like, so for people, why I put this in here, my slide is all distorted from how I create it. How you sell people on cruises, right? Is the hassle-free travel piece of it, right? It's the fact that you're on board, all your activities are on there. They're taking you to different destinations. You don't have to unpack and repack. That's the next thing, to get on and off, which is a beautiful thing. You need something, room service is going to bring it. You need a babysitter, they're on board. You want to go swimming, there's a pool. You want to go see some shows at night, it's on board. Like you do not have to overthink when you're on a cruise. There's something to do at all times. There is accessibility options. It's very easy. Many of the large ocean cruisers are very accessible to all different needs and necessities. It's excellent for those things. So you don't have to think about, do I have to bring this? Do I have to do this? They're very good about that. Gluten allergies, things like that. They're very good about all of that. So people that suffer from, say, maybe they celiac or whatever it may be, that's always accessible. Any kind of food allergy, they're excellent about. My daughter is should be completely dairy free, but is more in the face of lactose intolerant. And we always mark that on her food. Every time the chef comes out and says, what can you eat? Can I make this for you? Would this work for you? It's just next level service. And then high perceived value. The past few weeks, we have talked about selling value over price. These are the golden opportunities to do so. Yes, you're paying, and let's just use Disney as an example. You're paying $7,000, but this is, your stay in a balcony cabin for 7 nights. This includes all your meals, all your sodas, all your, the basic food amenities, right? It's including everything you're doing on board, your entertainment, your kids club. It's including your the shows on board. They have Broadway style shows on board. So you're going to picture yourself on your beautiful little balcony, drinking your coffee. Then you're going to go, oh, maybe we'll go see the Hercules show on the brand new Disney cruise ship. Then maybe I'll go to the Haunted Mansion bar. I know that's not on that ship. I'm just going with the story. Then we're going to go to this. And you sell the experience to them and all that they're going to get in that price, because sometimes a hotel is just $1,000 a night and nothing comes with it. This, they're getting their meals, they're getting basic, well, depending on the cruise line, they might be getting drinks in that price, but they might, on Disney, they're getting at least their soft drinks, right? They're getting their pool, they're getting their entertainment, they're getting a lot of things that they wouldn't be getting otherwise. Again, this is again a great example of why I love selling Regent, because Regent, you're getting everything. So when you're selling value, yes, it's $10,000 for the two of you, but you're getting all your meals, all your drinks, all your excursions, all your gratuities, all your tips, or I said the same thing, all your taxes. Everything is an all-in dollar amount with Regent. So you don't have to worry about a single thing once you get on board. You want to sell me? That's how you sell me. So things like that. I'm going to turn my light on really quick because I don't want to go too dark for you guys. Ooh, you're going to get a real close up. Sorry. Okay, I'm trying to convince my husband to sail on Destiny since it's a sail out of Fort Lauderdale, but he started with quote. I also love Royal Caribbean. I think they're a great brand. I get it, and I want to go on Disney. I have yet to go on Disney. I hopefully will be going very soon. But I get it. It's very difficult the way people came into cruising to break them from it. And a great example of this is my best friend. She is a carnival girl through and through. It's because it's what she started in. And no matter how much I tell her, I'm like, I think you like something else. It's what she started in. Cruising people are very, very loyal to their cruise line. And we'll get into this, actually, it's kind of in here, the rebooking rate. Because of the rebooking value, once you cruise, they're going to offer you a discount. They're going to give you some kind of soon come back rate on board. Yeah, see, a lot of royal. They're going to throw in all the bells and whistles if you book on board. So it's worked into their system to build loyalty. So if you have a good experience on board, they're going to want to because they want to go up that ladder, right? They want to get those statuses so that they get bigger discounts and then they keep coming back. They build their own cults, let's just say it. And I'm here for it. I'm here for that kind of nonsense. I always say, you ever see the memes on the internet where it's like, what would it take you to build to join a cult? It's like, well, probably good merch and snacks, right? Who does better merch and snacks than a cruise line? I'm clearly joking, but you know what I'm saying here. So one reason why I usually get into cruising again is the recurring revenue that you can get from it. We're always talking about repeatable business. What makes it simple for you? Well, cruises does that for you, right? One, commission's high, 10 to 18%, more often than not, depending on the host, because not everyone is with WorldVia in here, but more often than they're not on a host level, you're getting a higher commission rate on your cruises. They do start around 10% if you're not with a host. It can go all the way up to 18% depending on the cruise line as the base. Then group sales, then it's a whole other monster. We talked about groups last week, but once you get into group sales, they'll start comping cabins, and that could be more commission, or it can help you discount the rate for your clients. There's also massive upsell potential when it comes to groups. So your revenue can be so high in a cruise line. And again, like I said, rebooking rate. And the beautiful thing about rebooking on cruise lines, and we know this is not the standard out in the industry, is they will let you switch it to your travel advisor. So talk to me about a good time. You sold them on the first one. They loved it. They booked again on board. They flip it to you. So you don't have to do the work of booking it. That sits with you. And now I realize as I say this, sometimes there is a lot of work, because I do know sometimes the rebooking, they're like, oh, I picked this random day, I don't want it, and you have to switch it. It's a little bit of work, but right, best bookings ever. So like, you don't have to do that extra work. Let them do it. More often than not, they'll go on that cruise, or it'll be a minor adjustment. But man, isn't that feel good when you, or isn't that, doesn't that feel good when you get that email that they booked on board and it's come back to you? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'm sorry. And 2 times higher average sale, actually, with cruises. Now, if we're comparing this to like luxury, it's a little bit different. But as far as your general booking, that is what that's compared to. Listen, I'm always talking about working smarter, not harder, right? And I think anything that's this rebookable is the way to go. So what are some barriers to selling cruises? What might come up? One, you don't, I just read my sentence wrong. I was like, you don't need to sell a cruise, is what I thought I wrote. Woo! It's been a long Thursday. Um, you don't need to cruise to sell. I need to tell you something. I sold cruises for 6 years. I did not go on a cruise till I was 8 or 10 years in the industry. So the entire time I sold cruises, I had never cruised to a single destination. And I sold some really high-end cabins. Never sailed to a single destination. How did I do that? Great question. A lot of it by training in the beginning. I did a lot of education. I made the effort. I did all the courses. I watched the virtual videos. I went onto YouTube. There's some excellent walkthrough videos. I faked it till I made it. Right. And then eventually I did ship inspections. So I'm in a unique position. I will not lie. I live close to the New York port. Pre-COVID, it was hopping. It's coming back to that sense now. So I would go to New York City and I would go do a ship inspection. And so I would get an idea of what the ship was like. I knew what the onboarding process felt like. Never got on board. So why I say this is because I sold a whole lot of cruises and never stepped on board. Never stepped on board. And how you do that, and we've talked about this week on week, is with excellent notation and asking for experiences when your clients come home. What do I mean by that? They go on the cruise, they have the time of their lives because you picked the perfect cruise for them. You send that welcome home email and you say, hey, tell me a little bit about your experience so I can keep it for my records. And then you take the notes that they say, oh, we loved this restaurant. This food was so good there. Put it in my notes. Oh, we loved this excursion. It was the greatest thing we did in Tortola. Put it in my notes. And I had a running book of wins, basically, for when people were cruising, that when the next one came around, because let's be honest, itineraries, especially in the Caribbean and Mexico. Now, I know when we're talking about Europe and things, it gets a little bit different, but not really. Itineraries are repeatable. It's Eastern and Western Caribbean. More often than not, they're going to similar ports. So I would just keep writing it down. I would keep a diligent log of what people told me, what they liked and didn't like about the ships. And then I would keep those notes. So that when I had somebody coming back, I'd go to my notes on, now I'm going back on this, but like it was, I'm trying to think of a ship who it was at the time, but I'll just use an example. Let's say it's the Icon of the Seas or the Star of the Seas that just came out. Oh, they loved this. They really enjoyed this piece, even about the Aqua. Oh, I know that the oh my goodness, the pub has great entertainment on most nights. I know that the Prince show is a must see. Even though I had never been on board, I had all these notes. So I tell people, and then I had a little running destination guide for all my cruise ships. So you do not need to sell it. You just need to educate yourself. That's really what I'm getting at. Yeah, there's usually an incentive on board. Yeah, there's usually an incentive or credit, that's what I'm talking about for the rebooking. My husband calls them a floating petri dish. That's why he's never done one, never sailed into my third year. Listen, I'll be honest, my husband's never cruised. I'm actually taking him on his first river cruise in November, but he's never cruised. He's a little nervous, I won't lie. uh, I was a travel agent in the 90s and have never cruised. My boss trained me well, right? See, that's what I like to hear, Jamie. Host agency reviews is an excellent worksheet if you ever do a cruise inspection. Oh, that's a great little tidbit there, Kristen. Thank you. I read all the brochures. Yep. And just listen to clients. I have never cruised. I want to though. Listen, you will learn and then eventually you'll get yourself on it. A little recommendation, I think it comes up later, was you get yourself into the education for cruises. A great way to experience the cruise, and I'll push this till I'm blue in the face. Princess Cruise Line, once you finish their education, they give you a free cruise. So if you want to try one out, that's a great way to start. My people never answer these emails. I would love to see a template. Oh, you know what, Amy? I don't have a template for that, but that's definitely something that I could create. I mean, I used to have a template years ago, but luxury cruises, high return return. A great point, Anthony. Many are retired or work remote and no schedule conflicts. Also, world cruises sell at days after deployments are really great point. World cruises just sell the heck out. You're right. Luxury cruisers tend to recruise and recruise because they like the experience. They know what they're getting. It's comfortable for them. So they're going to keep rebooking. booking. They value over price every day. Princess Free Cruise. Oh, Sal, I just saw that. I'm so sorry. I was didn't get to your comment yet. I was looking at cruise tonight, but confused and overwhelmed by all the codes and promo codes. Oh, let's talk about that. So codes and promo codes, don't be scared by those. Sometimes they're more in there for the back end than not. And if you're ever curious, you could always call the cruise line. Or you could always, of course, call our member success if you're part of WorldVia. But give them a call. A lot of times it means nothing, those codes and things like that. It's just their internal pricing structure. Usually as long as there's no restrictions that you can't book into it, you can book into it. Christy, call. I'm behind in everybody's notes. I'm scrolling a little too slow. Christy, call the cruise line for your first booking. Thank you, Christy. Or thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that very much. I think Cunard does a few cruises as well. Actually, you might be right, Sal. I haven't looked at it in a long time. I booked my first cruise this week, and it's going to be a group of at least 5 cabins. Good for you, Kimberly. That's going to be a beautiful paycheck for you. All right. You don't need to know every ship. Also an important piece. Some of these cruise lines, their fleets are massive. They have 10, 20 ships, right? And they're all very different. They have similar sister ships, so they feel a little like you can get through it, and that's the beauty of not needing to know it all. What's important to know is mainly like the class that it's in, or at the very least have an idea of how large it is and what big like extra amenities that are on some and are on others as you get into different cruise lines. And a way that'll help you designate that easily is through their training. So do this one cruise line at a time with the training, learn the different variants between the ships, but you do not need to know them inside and out, not at all. Oh, there you go. Take all their cruising training, a lot to remember what all the cruise lines. I get it is a lot. I would recommend take extensive notes, make a little file folder where you put in your specific notes about it, and you can reference that folder. No one's stopping you from checking your notes when you're booking. Looking at Royal and Carnival. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. You just need to ask the right questions. That was the end of this that I never got to, apparently. I will tell you guys, and you know what I say it almost every single week, qualifying questions are going to take you a heck of a long way. Make sure you have proper qualifying questions put together so that when you're asking the questions, you're setting yourself up for success. If a client says to you they want an adults-only cruise, they cannot wait to spend time with just their fiance on their cruise ship, do not send them on a Disney cruise, unless they ask for it. And you explain it properly to them. Yes, Virgin Voyages, Danielle. You're sending them on Virgin Voyages. You don't even ask questions. You don't even ask the questions. That's the only adults only cruise line. But if they're willing to be around other people but just want an adults only experience, then you can venture into their options, right? Because some of them have adults only areas and adults only restaurants, things like that. If somebody is looking for a high-end experience, where would you send them? Pop it in the chat. I know where I would send them. Somebody's looking for adventure cruising. Where would you send them? Ask the right questions. Ask the right questions. Again, and what do we got? MSC for which one, Amanda? Oceana. I'm assuming that's for high end. River cruise. Fair enough. We're not talking river cruises tonight, but I love that. Princess. Okay. Okay. For which one? Thank you. High end luxury. Interesting. We put MSC in high end luxury. Okay. I cruised MSC for the first time in April. It was interesting. I did not like it. It was interesting. I don't know if I'd put it high end though, but I like actually, it depends on the ship. I think that's fair. I went on the World America, which is much more geared to the Royal Caribbean demographic. And I think that's why my brain's going that way. I'm going to give you that one because I think my brain's going a different space. Cunard, also Lux, absolutely. Okay. But again, what all this was is a practice in is, are you asking the right questions to know where you should be placing your individuals? What kind of experience do they want on board? Do they want it private? Do they want to be active? Are they gamblers? Because if they're gamblers, don't put them on a Regent cruise. I hate to keep bringing up Regent. Don't put them on Disney, right? They don't have casinos. And I dare say, depending on the cruise ship, sometimes the casino, well, that's a lie. Regent had a baby casino. But they have tiny casinos, and somebody wants a big old casino. They don't want to be on that. They want to win the free cruise, right? So you don't make sure you put them in the right place. Ooh. Yeah, I just thought that's what I gotta say. I thought I misread your message, Jamie. A killer rate on the new Oceania cruise. That's very exciting. A good friend of mine is actually he was my old boss. Brennan Quinnell is the sales rep for Oceania, and they have a great product line. MSC owns Explora. It's very true. It's very true. That's very true. I'm cruising Cunard Queen Tenerife too. Ooh, she's very bougie, as she should be. Listen, I am at the age, and I'm not even that old yet. I am choosing my happiness. And if that is a bougie cruise, that is a bougie cruise. But if you didn't ask her, now she's your friend, but if you didn't ask her she wanted a bougie cruise and you booked her on something that was not so bougie, how would that go over? So qualifying questions are incredibly important. Easy steps to start selling cruises if you're not already. Okay. Complete 1 to 2 supplier trainings. They're not super long. You're going to survive. Some of them are longer than others, but you're going to survive. And they're incredibly informative. I highly recommend you. They have some of the best training out there for advisors as our cruise lines. Join cruise focused Facebook groups. So there are so many of them. I'm not saying join the sailing groups. That's not going to get you anywhere. That's going to show you the schedules for the day and somebody's cheeseburger by the pool. That's not what I'm talking about. But cruise focused Facebook groups. Identify ideal clients in your CRM. Who has come into you already and has expressed their interest in a cruise, and or is like, oh, I went to an all-inclusive, but I was bored. Like I wanted to see more than just where we were at. Like those kind of people, the busybody people. That is, let's address it. Cruises are great for people who want to be busy. If you're a flop and dropper like me, that's why I don't love it. I want to go, I want to be on my book for 447 hours. I want to not be bothered. And that's a little more difficult to do on a cruise ship, right? Busy people want to be on a cruise ship because they want to go to the pool, and they want to go to the casino, and they want to go to the bingo, and they want to go to the show, and then they want to get a snack, and they want to go to the late show, and they want to go see the Elvis impersonator. They want to do all things. That's what cruising's for. Promote and just an important note here, how you should be identifying your clients in your CRM is you should be tagging them or making notes so that you can pull that reporting. So it's easy if you don't have that capability or you don't use a CRM that can do so. An easy way to do this is to start a document in Excel that just says cruise, my cruisers, and list their name and email. So that way when you have a cruise promotion or something come up with cruises, you can get them all in one shot. And promote community. Cool. I'll get there. Promote cruise specials or themed sailings. So I find cruise specials are really easy, or one of the easier ones to promote in this manner. You can do it with flyer, especially group cruises. You can pull out a lot of space on groups. Generally, there's little to no cost to hold space. So you can do spec groups really easily on a cruise. So you can pull it and say, oh, starting at this rate, you can sell a lot of rooms that way. It's a great way to start getting into groups. Groups are really easy and accessible through cruises. And then a lot of ways to sell the groups are one is starting your own theme. That's why I kind of want to put this in here. We have an advisor. I don't think she's on here. She's fabulous. She did her own Taylor Swift themed cruise last year. It went incredibly well. People do their own themes. I've seen gaming cruises. I see knitting cruises. I see all the things, or you can put them on the bigger actual, like, Backstreet Boys cruise or New Kids in the Block cruise or whatever millennial trend is going on at the time cruise. There was, before Margaritaville cruises, there was Jimmy Buffett cruises, things like that. I have friends tell me they can't be in confined spaces. They'd rather be an all-inclusive resort. And listen, Danielle, that's okay. Let's be clear. I'm not saying because we're talking about cruises, it's for everybody. It's just not for some people. And there's nothing wrong with that. You keep sending them to that all-inclusive. Some may enjoy it. And listen, because there's also a high turnaround on commissions for all-inclusive. So don't let that stress you. But if people are looking for other options, you can put them down the road. But if it's not for them, it's not for them. I would love to venture into themed sailings, like creating your own themes, Kristen, or getting in on some of the themes that already exist. I'm sorry, let me correct myself. I'm getting two TV shows blended. There was a Golden Girls themed cruise right before COVID. And if there was something I've ever wanted to do in my whole life, it was be on that cruise. Everyone dressed up. It looked fabulous. I was so jealous. I had a friend that was on it, and it looked like the best experience. Virgin is doing true crime cruise. Really? I did see they're doing a drag cruise, which appeals to me in every way possible, and I would love to go. some even offer holiday themed cruises too. Yep, holiday themed cruises. There's a lot of themed cruises. There's Broadway cruises. So if people are interested in Broadway, they'll bring on the top performers to bring them on. I've seen comedy cruises. I have seen but you can also theme it to like groups you have. Like it could be a cheerleading group cruise. It could be a video game group cruise. Like I said, it could be a Monopoly group cruise. It could be anything. There's book cruises. There's so many different options for themed cruises. Of course, there's NCLs as clothing optional. There's more than NCL that does that. And listen, to each their own. It's none of my business what people do, but there are those cruises. There is also, for those that are curious, because we do not judge here. There is a cruise line that does do clothing optional, not just the one an occasional. They do it all year round. It's run through the company that runs the Temptations hotels. I've never booked them myself, so I don't know how it works to book through them. But listen, that is a large market of individuals that fill up those cruise ships each year. So. Both I think it's Sixth Man that has some themes cruises. Oh yeah, and then the Broadway at Sea. Yep. Jazz theme. Yeah, there's tons of cruises. We're going down a lot with themes here, but there is a niche for everything in cruises, and there are so many. Cruise matching. Oh, I wanted to adjust this a little bit. It popped it together for me, and I was like, I don't know if I love this, but so we'll talk through it. Market a sail with me group. Yep, pick a sailing. That's what I'm talking about, a spec group. I probably should have said that more literally, but create the group, sell it to your clients, and have them sell it to their friends. Absolutely. First timers feel more comfortable because they're going with someone else. It's a great point. And then bonus that your fare will be paid for. So if you're not familiar with group cruises, depending on the cruise line, it can be anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10 cabins. Once you book them, you get a free cruise fare. So you yourself can be the paid piper of sorts and go for free, or you can offer a discount off the total rooms, whatever makes the most sense for you and your business. But you do that by holding space and selling it out like Anthony's recommending, and having them sell it to their friends and family. And you can put it up in community spaces and sell at that space. I call it a spec group, but I like what you said. It's a sail with me group, because then it's you going with them. And that also gives them confidence because you're on board and you can answer any questions. That you just nailed exactly why I wanted to adjust this list, Stephanie. In my first pass through this, I put Norwegian in there for more just for active. And then I was like, adventure. And then I edited it. So full disclosure, if you guys get my newsletter, I edited this when I put it there, and I thought I edited it here and I didn't. So here we have it. I'm not a perfect human. I'm gonna tell you what I really think of this list. So luxury couple, Oceania, absolutely. Silver Seas, Viking Ocean. I actually wouldn't say Viking Ocean. I would say Regent. I would say Paul Gauguin for luxury. Again, I had this is a moment of full transparency. I generated the list, and it's not what I wanted it to be. So, anyways, I wouldn't necessarily put Viking Ocean there. And I am gonna put, so that's when you see, I believe it goes out my email, Anthony. I put Virgin in foodie because I am a believer that the food is excellent. Even though I haven't been on board, I'm just saying from experience I've had. So again, we're destroying this list. It's not perfect. I realize that this slide is not going when it's going to the public. I'll fix it before it does. Family with kids, Disney, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, but also Norwegian, right? I think Norwegian's a great family cruise line. I think that needs to be put there. Active adventure, Virgin is more for the active, right? Not adventure. Actually, your adventure cruise, and this should be Hurtigruten. This could be also Explora a little bit, because they have some great itineraries for that. This is like more adventure travel that somehow got missed when I was building this list. Sometimes I'm building too much in a hurry. Ooh, MSC does have the Lego stuff now that is very good. Oh, not great point. Sal, great point. Retirees, Holland America, Princess, Celebrity is not listed here from them, but I absolutely believe it can go there. Who else would you recommend of these spaces? This is actually a fun experiment. I actually kind of like that I put up the wrong chart here because this bleeds into a good conversation. Christy, I'm on the East Coast. Many out of New York City go just to Bermuda. Is that boring? Ooh, let's talk about it. Well, let me get to the foodies one. Viking could go under retirees. Great point, Peggy. Great point. Foodies, I would say Celebrity, I would say Oceana. Alma Waterway, see, this is why I'm mad. This shouldn't even be on here. It's a river cruise. Yes, they're great food with a river cruise. I would put Virgin Voyages here, 100%. I'd also put Regent here. I had excellent food on Regent. Okay, so let's talk about the Bermuda cruise. The Bermuda cruise is for a particular type of person. And I'm also going to dare say New York City cruises are for a particular kind of person. Why do I say that? I'm flipping to the next slide. Let's backpedal. Cruises out of New York City generally only do Bermuda or Bahamas and Florida. So, unless they want to go for 10 nights or 9 nights, and not everyone can work that into their work schedule, right? So, in our area, this is a very regional conversation, so I apologize to those for those of you that aren't. In our area, people want convenience and they will drive. Good point, Camille. We'll do New England and Canada, but I was talking about the Caribbean itineraries. They will go for convenience. They're going to go because it's drivable. And people that live in New England don't want to cruise to New England. So they're really only doing the Bahamas and Florida, and they're doing Bermuda. And a lot of times they want to cruise for convenience. They don't want to go for super long. So they'll go to Bermuda. Here's what I'll tell you about Bermuda. Bermuda is a beautiful, beautiful island. It is gorgeous. The cruise stop is great. I would only do it as a cruise stop, personally. That's my personal opinion. After I went once, I do not need to do it again. Again, personal opinion. Beautiful, beautiful island. Great feel. Gorgeous beaches. So, that being said, people in New York will go back to Bermuda over and over again. Why? Because we are creatures of habit. These are the same individuals that will go to the Hamptons or go to Jersey Shore or go to Ocean City, Maryland over and over and over again. I don't know that we are the prime example of whether the Bermuda cruise is a great option or not. Do I think you should see it once? Of course. Do I think if you are not from this area, you should do the New England cruise? Like Christina's mentioned, the fall in New England is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. We live in it. We're not doing it. So is it a beautiful example of our country if you do it in the fall months? But I can tell you something. A fall cruise in New England is cold. So if you are going for a warm vacation, that is not what you want to be doing. Long Beach Island, great point, Peggy. Let's see. New York City and Boston always have an amazing cruise for fall leaf skin. Again, agreed. I'm promoting a cruise for Colorado Heap Cities, and they do. And I want to be very clear. Great for anyone else in the country, but it is cold. So make sure it's sold correctly. And also, and listen, maybe a little some bitterness because where I live. You're right, you do love cold. Maybe a little bitterness because this is where I live, and I'm like, I'm not cruising in New England. I live in New England, like not technically, but I do. And where I live, I'm surrounded by leaves at all times. So I just noticed I had a moment of bitterness there because where I live. All right, fair enough. There's fair enough. You're all told me. I get it. Look at you both right the same thing over and over again. You're all yelling at me. You know what? You're right. People prefer the cold. I'm thinking everything's beach. I guess in my brain, I would rather do like fall in Europe. And that is probably because I've lived in the Northeast my whole life. So there you have it. I appreciate that. Prove me wrong. I love this. See, it blows your mind why people spend thousands on ski vacations. There you go. I think we get to put me in snow over the sand. Interesting, Miller. Okay, listen. I love to be proved wrong. Quebec in December, Kristen? Germany in October. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. My goodness. No, I love Canada. And I want to be clear, I clearly live in the Northeast. I love the cool weather. But anyways, we derailed. We got off topic from the Bermuda. I would say Bermuda is beautiful. I don't know that it's a repeat destination. That's my personal opinion. Have any of you been to Bermuda? What are your thoughts on it? I think it's gorgeous. And I think it's a fun stop. I think the 7 nights is a little excessive because if you don't know how the Bermuda cruises work, you cruise to the port, you stay on your cruise ship like it's a hotel for 2 to 3 nights, and then you cruise back. So it's like, yeah, Horseshoe Bay is beautiful. So it's really up to you. It's how you prefer to spend your trip. When I'm on a cruise, I like to go to multiple different destinations. If I'm going to sit on that ship for that long, I want to go to different places, but that's not everybody. I'm not everybody. So it is a gorgeous, gorgeous island. It's a really cool, agree, one and done. Yeah. It's a very cool experience because they live a very different way there than we do. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Bermuda cruise. And the other one's Bahamas and Florida. And again, that's tough because again, you're stopping at Port Canaveral, essentially, is one of your stops. And then you're going to Nassau and probably their private island. That's how that is a lot. So again, for when you were talking about earlier, when people do the private island cruises, that's just not everyone's interested in. I want to go Eastern Caribbean, Western Caribbean, Southern Caribbean. I want to be cruising in the Greek Isles. I want to be cruising in the Mediterranean, so that's, again, different set of different strokes, different boats for different folks, right? That was a pun. Did you like it? Because we still have 3 slides. Oh no, we're almost at the end. Okay. Tools to boost your confidence. 1, cruise resources that your host agency has. If you're part of WorldVia, we have incredible cruise training. We have forums. We have discoveries. We have all kinds of cruise training. Plus, of course, your supplier training. Plus, we have partner pulses and partner. I'm losing all my terms right now, but we interview our supplier partners. We have great relationships with our supplier partners. If with a different host, you should as well. There's different options for that. Check your own partner portals to see what is available to you, but make sure you're utilizing the host resources. Supplier webinars and certifications, make sure you're taking them. They are free. They are incredibly helpful. And generally, if you take one, it'll help you sell other cruise lines. So just take baby steps. How you eat an elephant is one bite at a time, right? Don't overwork yourself. Social media cruise promo templates. Okay, let's get into this really quick. How do you sell a cruise, right? You have to have something about it. So whether you're like Anthony and you're taking a group space and you're selling that, or you're just selling one individual cruise, you have to know how to sell it. A lot of cruise lines will have their own imagery that you can use for socials. But if you're a part of WorldVia, we do have tools like Rallyo and as well as Email Plus that will build social campaigns and email campaigns from our supplier partners, and almost all of our, definitely most of our preferred partners are cruise lines, and you can utilize those tools in that space. So if you're not using it, try and use it and build that up for yourself. And FAM opportunities to sail and learn. There are really incredible opportunities to sail on cruise ships. There are FAM opportunities. There are semesters at sea. There are ship inspections. The possibilities are endless, but also I'm going to take this as a cheap way to plug something that has nothing to do with me. Cruise 360 and Cruise World are 2 incredible training experiences if you're looking to get into the cruise industry, that will train you on how to sell cruises, what's going on in the cruise world. They have ship inspections on the back end of it. So if you're trying to get all in on one shot and just learn everything you need to learn, those are 2 great experiences to do so. Cruise 360 is every April. It's in Fort Lauderdale and is run by Clea. Cruise World is every November. It is in Fort Lauderdale at the same exact place. And oh, look, I zoomed out. How do I zoom back in? I don't know. It is in the same location in Fort Lauderdale, and it is run by North Star. WorldVia Travel Network will be at both. One is coming up. Joshua is actually speaking at Cruise World, which is incredibly exciting. But these are 2 really incredible ways to expand your cruise knowledge all in one place. Meet all the cruise lines. They have an expo there. Take training classes, and it is cruise heavy. So that's just a cheap plug for those. It has nothing to do with me, but I do think it's a great way to educate yourself. You want to spend thousands to come to Montana? I'll hook you up. I'd rather be at a beach. See, that's how I feel, Jamie. I am a beach girly. I told my friend I want to do 2 things: Christmas markets and good hot chocolate. That's fair. I agree. One and done trade. Okay, I read that. Okay, I don't love to go back to the same place twice. Too many amazing places to see. I agree with that. Okay. Last 2 slides. Action steps, and I went over today and I apologize. So first, choose your cruise niche. What is it? Is it multi-gen? Is it groups? Is it family? Is it adults only? Whatever it may be, find your niche. Get certified in 1 to 2 suppliers. Again, I'd start with like your Princess, where you get that free cruise at the end, or Royal Caribbean and Norwegian have excellent training materials. They're a great place to start. Promote a sailing or group trip. It's a great way to get yourself out there and create some marketing material and start the conversation. You just gotta start talking about it. going to the River Cruise Expo where you will see me there. We're not doing river cruising tonight. That's another night, but I am a big river cruise fan. I will be there. I am the representation for WorldVia. I will our lovely Amy Little with me and possibly someone else. We'll see. But we will be in Amsterdam and I'm very excited about it. I went to the River Cruise Expo for the first time this year and fell in love, and I can't wait to go to Amsterdam. If they come, they reopen registration. I'm just saying. And we might be doing a fun little WorldVia dinner or event. I don't know. I haven't planned it yet in Amsterdam. And I mean, who doesn't want to spend a few hours in Europe with me? Just saying. Lastly, I just put in this, it is tempting, isn't it, Kristen? What's holding you back? Let's problem solve together. So what's holding you back from selling cruising? Tell me. I'd love to hear about it. And again, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to take the first step. It is tempting. Listen, I am just saying, I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute. I am just saying, a good time. And I've never been to Amsterdam, so I'm probably gonna pick somewhere fun because I want to see all the things. I didn't mean to derail to river cruises, but I am gonna get into river cruises in the future. And I think it is a massive way to increase your income. And if you are not, I'm gonna take this last 3 seconds. If you're interested in getting into river cruising and you are not familiar with river cruises, the River Cruise Expo is a great way to see it all in one place because you literally can walk into nearly every single river cruise ship. You could touch it, you can eat on board, you can feel it. It is a fully immersive experience. So it's a way to see all the different brands right next to each other. You literally have to walk through them to get to your classes. It's an incredible experience. A lot of friends are not cruisers or they book themselves. That's fair, Peggy. I will say cruising is the one place where people think they could book it themselves until something goes wrong. But it is one we do deal with that problem. I'm finding it hard to sell cruises in general. I love cruises. You would think it would be easy. You think it's hard to sell because it's just not the right market for them? Or is it pricing? Because I will say pricing was incredible for a while. It did spike a little bit in the last, I would say, year or so. Some of them are getting a little high. Like a great example is the Norwegian Aqua I was just on. We priced it out for a family of 4 for a similar trip to we were on without all the inclusions. It was around $10,000. And listen, that for some people is like, oh, that's not a big deal, because some people that's pricey. River cruise event sounds interesting. I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah, it's run through ASTA, Stephanie. It's an excellent event. It's probably only about 5 years old. So it's pretty new, but it is really well run. Everyone really enjoys the classes that are on board. They do a great event. Anyone have any questions, thoughts, concerns, sarcastic remarks? You know, I like all of them. You have to be an ASTA member to sign up. Thank you, Peggy. When is it? It is in March 12th to the 15th, I believe. I would have to double check that. Don't quote me on that. But somewhere it's in the earlier March. It's in Amsterdam. And I'm really going to quickly post the Facebook group in here again. I've only done Nile River. Oh, God, you told me about that cruise, Kristen. I'm so jealous of that. March 11th to the 15th. Thank you, Sandy. You're my hero. There's the Facebook group again. A quick reminder for anyone that's to jump off because I know we're over on time. Keep an eye out for the YouTube link, but if not, just go to the WorldVia YouTube page, WorldVia Travel Network. You'll be able to find me there chatting away. I hope to see you all there, and hopefully it'll be a lot easier for all you to enjoy the content in the future. But if not, if you have any questions, I'll hang out for a bit. Is there any cruise lines that you haven't been on that you want to get on? Is there any questions about specific cruise lines that you have? If I know it, I can try and help. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what's going on. That's what I'm here for. Did we like the content this week? I know last week's was really well attended. I got really good feedback on it. Did this help? Next week we're getting into adventure cruising, or I'm sorry, like adventure travel, not just cruising. And I think it'll be a nice little diversion because that is becoming a huge thing. Amy and I need to get you on a Virgin cruise one day. Anthony, I'm gonna tell you right now, if there was one thing I was jealous of, it was that Virgin cruise you guys went on. But I don't get jealous of him. I was real jealous. I have tried. So I missed the boat when right coming out of COVID, they gave away a ton of free Virgin cruises. And I missed that boat. I don't know what was going on in my life. I missed it. I don't know. And I feel like everybody went on and I did not. And then now coming out of it, they have not been giving away as many free ones. And I can pay for it. I know I'm a big girl, but I just haven't gone down that road yet. But it's tough because adults only with the kids. I can only go on so many of those trips a year. But I will tell you, every time they are giving away a free Virgin cruise, I am like a kid in a candy shop. I'm like, give it to me. I want it. Why can't I have it? Because I just want to try it. Uh, Despite growing up in South Florida, I've only ever sailed on Royal Caribbean, Disney, and Carnival. You need to explore more. Listen, I will say, expanding my options on cruising really opened my eyes. That seems like a contradict, well, like the exact same statement. Um, but because at the beginning I had only gone on Norwegian, Royal, and Carnival. And then when the first time I went on Celebrity, I was like, oh, okay, this is different, right? Then loved Regent, like I said. That's not the only, I've been on another one too. Um, I'm missing somebody list. But the more I see, the more I'm like, oh, I like this. I don't like this. I enjoy this about this one. I don't enjoy it about the other. And it's cultivating my taste for cruises, right? I think that's what's important. So seeing more makes it really helpful. I think Virgin is the only one you may get me on. I get that, Valerie. I get that. Adults only, great food, great entertainment. I get it. You can get me a souvenir of a lifetime if you know, you know. Whoop. I do know. I want to do an expedition cruise for Antarctica, but want to fly down versus going through the Drake Passage. I get it. Did anybody see Silver Sea just put a ton of money into their Antarctica product and they're building a hotel. So for like it's supposed to circumvent the Drake Shake in some way. Like if you can't they have a little airport pad, I believe, and like if you can't do the ship, they're gonna fly you. I don't have all the details, but I was very intrigued by it. Like, oh yeah, that was as a flight to Antarctica. But still, but I heard no, I know no facts about this. So don't write this down. But I heard even sometimes the waves are so big that it affects the airflow. So even if the flight won't go, I would love to do the Antarctica, the Drake Passage. I know a lot of people that have done it recently. Bonnie and Walt Lee, the Legends of Travel Quest, just did it last year. Um, Drake is super rocky. Yeah, yeah. I would love to do it. I don't know that it's a yet thing because that's something I really want to commit some time to, but it's definitely on my list, among other things. But it's definitely on my list. Um, All right. Any other questions? I can tell you what my list of upcoming cruises that I want to try. Obviously, Virgin. I want to, I would love to do a Mediterranean cruise. Um, I'm just gonna say it, even though I can't go. Christian Siriano is doing a Fashion Week show on a Cunard transatlantic, and I wanted to go so bad, but it's over Halloween. And I said, I can't, I'm a Halloween fanatic. It's like my Christmas. And my kids would be like, what? What do you mean you're going to a fashion show on our Christmas? So I am not going, but I wanted to go so badly. Norwegian Fords. That's a great one, Christy. Head to Alaska on Princess in 2 weeks. I hope you see an orca in the wild too, or the Northern Lights. I'm actually headed to Alaska, not on a cruise. I am doing a glacier cruise from Anchorage, but I am headed to Alaska for Future Leaders in Travel right after World, our yearly event. I'm going right from Texas, actually, and I'm very excited. It's my first time to Alaska. I'm in Let's Go. My goal is to do most of them. I need peeps to go with. Listen, I get it. I'm very excited. Stephanie, I'm almost embarrassed to say what my wristband is for. Anthony, I bet you knows exactly what it is because he already busted me about it. This is my ticket for my Backstreet Boys concert. This is my ticket from the Backstreet. I went to opening night of the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere, like the good millennial mom that I am. And I truly and wholeheartedly just keep, when I remember to cut it off, I don't have scissors by me, and then I walk away and I forget it's there. My kids will not stop making fun of me. They're like, "You're such a nerd." And I was like, I just keep forgetting about it. It has to come off before World. It has to. I keep I knew you would get it, Anthony. It's from my Backstreet Boys concert. But honestly, most fun I've had in a very long time. So I have zero regrets. And we would have kept see, thank you, Sal. It almost looks like a hospital. It does. It needs to go. I know. It does. Wait, I need to commend this wristband company though. It's still, there is no blurriness. It still says Backstreet Boys. My husband and I are going on. Oh, that's ooh, very nice. You got to go, Trina. Thank you for listen. For anyone that has to go, thank you so much for joining me as always. I am so grateful for all of y'all. I wouldn't be here if you didn't show up each week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see y'all next week on YouTube. We're gonna talk adventure travel. If I don't see you, I hope you have a great week and a great weekend. But I'll hang on for 2 more minutes with everybody. But paint it purple for world. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for preventative maintenance. You're my girl. You've got me. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, adventure travel. Yay. Thank you, Peggy. Well, if you want to go, guys, I'll let you go because we're just chatting. We're just gabbing away. Awesome information. Oh, good. I hope everyone enjoyed the content this week. I hope it was helpful. We will chat again next week. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, laura@worldvia.com. Thank you, Laura was able to make it today because my son's, oh, there you go. Well, I mean, I'm not happy it's canceled, but I'm happy you're here. I will see y'all next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I can't believe it got me to this song. You guys know I'm a pop culture junkie. Happy week of Travis and Taylor getting engaged. I can't believe we all had to work after that. What a joke. No, I did interrupt a meeting about it because this is who I am as a person. Everyone, you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you again, and I'll see y'all next week.